beautiful divine beings. So today I am excited to share a new juice recipe that God gave me. So we have here some Dino Kale, organic, of course. This is so good. Some pineapple. They didn't have any ripe whole pineapples, so I bought it chopped. Some strawberries, grapefruit, and some different kinds of oranges. Red blood orange and Cara Cara orange. We're gonna mix it all up and we're gonna make some delicious juice. Okay, so we're going to start off by chopping up the kale, because I usually put in the leafy greens first, and then we put in the more juicier fruits in to wash it all down, you know. But this juicer here, I've had it a couple years. It's not the best. I'm looking into getting another one because I don't think it is the best, because it does get clogged up sometimes, but I'll have to use what I have. Okay, so we'll get started here. I'm going to put in some of the kale first. Saying in my live video earlier is that I was just feeling like I had some cooked food over the weekend, you know, with friends and family and celebrating, and now I feel like it's a time of cleansing, time of renewal. So this is why God kind of led me to this juicing recipe, to try and to get back on track with juicing and building up the biophotons, you know. Pineapple to wash the kale through. It helps clear out the juicer here. Most of our society really underestimates the power of juicing. And juicing really has transformed my life, because it's full of nutrients and full of life, biophotons, which is what our body needs to heal. In order to heal, what happens is that all the trashy food, you know, the meats and the dairy and fast foods, all the junk foods, they steal our light. You know, they steal our light. They steal our life. because it requires so much energy for our body to be able to process those things that it really steals our energy. But with juicing, there's no energy required for the body to process the juice. It just soaks in all the nutrients that our body needs, and we're able to heal a lot faster, you know, and to thrive in our bodies, to thrive in health and prosperity and in our spirit, you know, because what I say is that the fruits feed our spirit. That's why they call the fruits of the spirit. You know, and so many people miss it, you know, miss the message that God was trying to give us. God was trying to tell us to eat fruits, for the fruits of the spirit. Because the fruits feed our spirit. And that's really the truth. Putting in the kale, mixing it with the pineapple. Getting some really strong green juice here. Kale, oranges, pineapple, strawberry, and a grapefruit. I'm going to put a grapefruit in there. Right now I'm getting, this is a blood orange. So good. You know, whenever I'm feeling bloated or anything, you know, this is what I do. I'll do some juicing. I'm feeling like I need to empty out some of the stuff that I've eaten. This is what I do. This is what a blood orange looks like. It's very good. Put this in there. So good. Some more pineapple. You know something, if the foods can make you sick, then there's foods that can make us well. And these foods, this is God's medicine, you know, this is what God created to give us the health, the vitality, you know, that God intended for us to have. Because God did not intend for us to be eating fast foods that was created by man. You know? These are the fruits, the foods of the garden that God created for us. I always say, if Adam and Eve ate from the Garden of Eden, and we eat from the Garden of Eden, shouldn't we also be able to enter back into the Garden of Eden by eating the diet? You know, reverse engineering the Garden of Eden by eating from the garden. And because Christ died for us, Christ gave his life for us, we're able to enjoy heaven on earth. And this is how we get heaven on earth, is by eating from the garden and creating a world that is peaceful and loving and kind. These are all the fruits of the Spirit, you know? And this is how we get the fruits of the Spirit, is by eating from the garden that God created for us to eat from, you know? And this is what God intended by going to the cross, by giving us this life, this beautiful life, you know, of heaven on earth, creating heaven on earth while we're alive, you know. Christ intended for us to live heaven on earth in our body. We don't have to wait until we die to experience heaven. We can have it here and now in our body. This is what God was trying to do. And it really drives me crazy that churches don't get it. They're not preaching this message because they really have not received this revelation. You know, Christ wants us to enjoy our life, you know, like to live heaven on earth in life. He died to give us a new life. You know, the Bible says that he has come to give us life and live it to the full, you know, to give us life to the fullest. You know, this is what Christ did. This is what he intended for us, to live our life to the fullest while we're alive, not when we die. We don't have to wait until we die to experience heaven on earth, okay? I want you guys to really get this message, understand what I'm saying, because this is the truth of the entire world that we live in. You know, you can either live your hell on earth in your body, you know, by eating the junk foods, the trash, the fast foods that the masses eat, the normal people eat. You know, you're going to create your hell on earth because you're basically eating from hell. You're eating from a slaughterhouse. You know, eventually your life, you know, will not be good because you're eating from a slaughterhouse. And what is in a slaughterhouse? Is pain, suffering, death, all these things, you know, like, who wants that kind of life? I certainly don't, and I learned my lesson. Believe me, I've eaten from a slaughterhouse and I've eaten from a garden. And the life that I enjoy now is because of what God has done for me. You know, what God has done for me is giving me new life by eating from a garden and not eating from slaughterhouses, okay? We are supposed to treat our neighbor, love thy neighbor as thyself. God didn't specify about animals, you know? But I feel that we are even supposed to treat animals as ourselves. We are all part of creation. We are all mammals. We all bleed red. You know, God, I believe that God created the animals you know, with the same color of blood as us, to remind us that we are all a part of creation. We are not here just to live for ourselves, you know, like we are created to learn how to care for God's creation, you know. We are here to learn how to care for God's creation, not to destroy it. And what happens when people eat from a slaughterhouse is that their mirror neurons, they don't really have any mirror neurons, you know, so they lose their sense of empathy, you know. I believe that eating animals creates a very hostile type of human, very violent, you know, because you're eating the emotions of the animal, that the animal felt when the animal died, when the animal was slaughtered and killed, you know. And if you've ever heard the screams of the slaughterhouses, you would know it's all torture and violence, and it's really a type of energy, a type of spirits that we don't need on this planet. We can really thrive without it. We can thrive without the spirits of the violence, the pain, the suffering. We can live our heaven on earth without it. And I am living proof of this. I am living proof. Okay? I'm going to peel a grapefruit. To put in here. Really, I want you to know I haven't been doing this alone. You know, it's really God that's helped me get through this transformation and live the life that I now live. A very blessed, beautiful life. You know, it's really amazing, and I'm really so grateful to God for this. But I don't want this just for myself. I want everybody to be able to live their heaven on earth. You know, the hospitals are packed with people that are living their hell on earth. When there is no need for suffering. People don't need to suffer. Nobody needs to suffer, you know? There is no need for it. But people are choosing it because they don't know any other way. They don't know, most people don't know that there is another way of living life. You know, they just think like, oh, it's so convenient to run over to the McDonald's, to the Chick-fil-A, Burger King. So easy, I'm just gonna eat that, you know. But no, it's not. It's not the best thing for you. You know, you will end up suffering the consequences of your actions, you know, for eating those kinds of foods, because those are not the foods that are made to go into our bodies, are not fuel for our bodies, you know. They're really bad for us in our spirit. They're definitely not good for our spirit, you know. It really dulls our spirit, our connection to God. It dulls our light that God gave us, that we were born with, that we were created with. It dulls our light. Putting in some grapefruit. Peel another orange. You know, my hope really is to get this message out to the world and for people to see, you know, that it is possible to live a beautiful, healthy life and to get a second chance at living a beautiful life. You know, we all get a second chance because God has given us a second chance at life when we are renewed. We are born again in the Spirit because we are so loved. We are so loved. This is a blood orange. You gotta be careful with the blood orange, it does stain. Bring a container to put all these things in because it's so much juice. So much juice. This is so good. I'm almost going to be done here. I will put the recipe for the juice in the description box for you. And I'll see you next time. I really enjoyed making this juicing recipe and really speaking my heart, you know. Really speaking to you about my whole perspective on our reality, our life, and how God really created us. You know, we only get one chance in our life, so we have to really live the best life we can live in our bodies, in our time. You know, because even if we get to live 100 years in our body, in our life, it's very short time compared to the span of eternity, you know? So we really have to make the best life that we can, and if we have an opportunity to live heaven on earth, why not? Why not? This is what God did for us. You know, God didn't bring us here to just suffer all the time, suffer forever, no. You know? So really I believe we are created to bring heaven down to earth, and I'm eating like it's already done because that's the life that I want for my son. That's the life that I want for all of creation, all of humanity. I want everyone to be able to have heaven on earth because we are worthy. All of creation is worthy. And this is what Christ, you know, this is the whole point of why Christ went to the cross, you know. This is for me at least, you know. I don't know what you believe, but for me this is the reason why, you know, so that we can experience heaven on earth. And I hope that you this message and share, like, and subscribe. And I love y'all so much. Have a very fruitful, abundant, beautiful day. God bless you.